You have an invitation to do difficult things, to die without regret. You have an invitation to go your way to the mountain of myrrh. And when you see him, you will have gifts to give him without regret. I don't think Mary of Bethany regretted anything. I don't think the disciples regretted anything. Paul didn't regret anything. David didn't regret anything. So this verse says, there's a cup before me and a crown if I don't quit. One day I'll shine just like my Father when I reign with him. So I will pay the cost of every loss to gain what I can't miss, because it's death before disobedience. I want to give honor where honor's due. If you've seen Sheep Among Wolves 2, you've met our Iranian brothers and sisters. I was on the phone with one of those guys a couple years, like 2020, we were writing some articles together, and he used that language, and I was like, whoo, that has to be in a song. So then I wrote Death Without Regret. Thank you, Lord. So just to kind of give some background in the verses here, Matthew 20, Jesus is saying to the disciples, look, you want to sit at my right and my left hand, but can you drink the cup that I'm about to drink? They go, yeah, totally. They don't know what they're talking about. It's James and John. And he goes, you will indeed drink this cup, but to be next to me, on the crucifixion, that's the Father's to give. Or in the Last Supper, he takes the cup and he gives thanks and he gives it to them and says, drink from this, all of you. We talked about this in Better Wine, that this motif that's throughout the scriptures, it's throughout the Song of Solomon. But also, when Jesus was in Gethsemane, he said to the Lord, look, Father, if there's any way to take this cup from me, if there's any other way to do this, let's do it. But not my will, but yours be done. And Luke says that there was then an angel that sat with him and strengthened him. And I think it's so important. I thought of Jonathan finding David in the wilderness when David is at wit's end. He's like, Saul is trying to kill him. He's been hunted by mercenaries for years. And he is like, that time that Samuel the prophet anointed him when he was a teenager, playing harps on the back hills of Bethlehem, taking care of his father's sheep. Those days are long gone. And he's doubting all of the promises of God over his life. But Jonathan comes to him and strengthens him in the Lord. He uses the same kind of language and says, no, my father's just frustrated because he knows you will be king one day and I'm going to be right beside you, high-fiving you. Like, Jonathan could just serve him in that way. And I think it is precious that the son of David had a similar experience in the garden, and an angel came and strengthened him. The Lord, the Father didn't say, that's all right, take, we'll do another way. Because Jesus said, look, I give my life, nobody takes this from me. And if I said, Father, save me, he would send a legion of angels and this whole thing would be over. I'd be delivered. It's not a thing. He laid his life down. He gave it. He said, no one takes this from me. I am doing this. And he drank the cup the Father had given him. There's a cup before me and a crown if I don't quit. He says, am I not to drink the cup the Father's given me? Of course I will drink the cup the Father's given me. May we have the same resolve. Philippians 3, Paul says, not that I've already reached the goal or I'm already perfect, but I make effort to lay hold of it, to take hold of it, because I've been taken hold of by Jesus. He has taken hold of me. So one thing I do, I forget what lies behind, good, bad, and the ugly, forget it, and I press on towards the prize in knowing Jesus and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings. He is my prize. Make it to the finish line. If you don't quit, you win. That's it. Just don't quit. Just keep going. I've been doing CrossFit. One of my CrossFit bros in my box you'll see me slowing down and go, listen, you can slow down, but you cannot stop. There's no walking when you're running 800 meters. You will run, even if it's slow. Just don't quit. Daniel 12:3, and Jesus uses similar language in Matthew 13, that those who have insight, the masculine, the wise will shine like the bright expanse of the heavens, like the stars forever and ever. And in the parable, as Jesus is explaining the parable of the sower, he says, the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Let anyone who has ears listen. If you can hear it, listen. And don't be a fool, be wise. Respond appropriately. Go all in. In the next verse, it says, there's now no condemnation for any son and heir, but with my numbered days of conquering, I'll bust this alabaster. When the trumpet sounds, my body's found and my rotten coffin splits. I'll know it's death I'll know it's death to kill disobedience. You have to carry your cross. The flesh has to die. Carnality has no place in the kingdom. The Lord cannot bear with unrighteousness and something that's unsanctified. That's why he bled to bring you in. And, go read Romans 8. There's no condemnation for those who are in Jesus. And you can be suffered, you can suffer, you can be like a sheep led to the slaughter, and we'll get into this in the next verse. Of his sovereignty, what can we say? We're sheep yet led to slaughtering. A man cannot escape the grave. Death has claim on everything. But, you think through Romans 8, he says, I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is going to be revealed to us, for the creation eagerly waits with longing and anticipation for the sons of God to be revealed, so that creation can be liberated from the curse. He says, what are we to say about these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? He who did not even spare his own son, but gave him up for us, how would he not also grant us everything? He's not going to hold back now. Go all in. He went all in. He is all in. And if Jesus died and was raised, and he intercedes for you through that same power, then what can separate you from his love? Can it be affliction or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or danger or sword? Nothing can separate you from the love of God. And therefore, we are more than conquerors. But what he means is we are like super invincible. Like the word conquerors is even, we come in and we throw down and we win. There's like nothing. We're invincible. We're super invincible. You can do difficult things. You can do hard things. You can say yes. You can go your way to the mountain of myrrh, and the Lord is with you, and he will bring you through it. You will be with him on the other side. So there is a cup before me and a crown if I don't quit. One day I'll shine just like my Father when I reign with him. It's God who justifies and binds. A 3-rope cord's not easily broken. Not a damn thing could then divide. Not persecution, famine, demons, powers, principalities, nothing. You're super invincible. So I'll die before I disobey. And let that be your declaration. Death before disobedience. Do difficult things. Die without regret.